Can't stop losing my patience.
Guys, hello, welcome, Life and Times.
Hi.
What's the fucking fireworks? But you know what I'm saying, guys? We're, with, we're here with the one, guys. We're here with the one. You know what I mean? Somebody that definitely should have been on the show. I say it so much, but you know, life is hard. Let me tell you, this took some obstacles.
It did.
But we finally got here.
It took a minute.
Took a little bit, but you know, all good things come to those. Wait,
With time.
exactly. So you know, guys, we're here with somebody that's definitely, definitely upcoming. Definitely has amazing music. Definitely dropped a great album, an amazing album. We all, I wish y'all could have seen it. Got to see it live. It was amazing. You know, what I mean, we're here. We're very talented. You know, I don't know. I just we're talented recording artists. We don't really want to say, we don't want to put you in a box. You know what I'm saying? But introduce yourself.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Bree Miller.
Wow.
Yes. I am a recording artist. That's a good term.
Right, like
I feel like my whole life I would say I was like more performing artist with playing instruments and singing. But yeah, definitely like I would say now recording artist is a
Yeah,
good
I
word.
mean, trust me, and she does both of these very well. Like, I wish y'all could have seen it. You know what I'm saying? But guys, well, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Hot
We're finally here. It's hot outside.
outside LA.
but,
What can you do?
Yeah.
I'd rather be hot than cold though.
Me too.
Because I can't do
Me
cold.
too.
Not even a little bit. I'm not even gonna
No.
play with it. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Well, I just let's. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to unpack
We
today.
have
So
a lot to unpack.
we do. So let's start from the top. Where are you from?
Okay.
Because I didn't know where you were from until halfway into our excavator.
Yeah. Okay. I'm from a small town in Michigan,
Old
called Fenton, Michigan.
Fenton.
Fenton. Yeah. It's a small town, 45 minutes from like Ann Arbor, Detroit area.
Okay.
Yeah, super mellow over there. I would say compared to here, there's a lot of differences for sure.
4,400 people.
Yeah,
Like a
for
lot,
sure.
though.
Yes, I actually did move here from Chicago though. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so I lived in Chicago from about the time I was 17 to 21. Moved out here just after that. And yeah, I've been experiencing city life for the last like 7 years or so.
And
It's something else, let me tell you.
is Fenton more rural area?
Yeah, for sure. It's getting more urban as like time like I'll go home to visit and I'm like, "Oh my god, like
Where
what?"
we get this?
Yeah, it's the classic like leaving your hometown, moving to a big city, it's definitely not like the smallest town ever, but I would say it's on the smaller scale. So life is very different. I would say it's like a little bubble,
Yeah. So what was it like, kind of like growing up there, as far as going to school and
Pretty
everyday life?
normal.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like not much going on. It's pretty like I'm very like blessed to say that I had a very nice upbringing childhood. I was definitely very like blessed and I was around people who were very like privileged people, but you see um I still feel like I think because of my parents, they're just very open-minded individuals, and so they really raised me to just kind of open my eyes to see what's outside of the bubble. And I think I'm definitely one of those people who's like I'm proud of where I'm from, but I'm also very what's the word?
Ooh, I hate this game.
I hate this game,
I
but
hate this game.
all I'm gonna say is that as soon as I moved to Chicago,
Yeah.
it just opened my eyes even more.
Like kind of like naive or like
Yeah, like
naive is a little bit rough, but
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. I think a lot of people where I'm from could say the same thing,
Mhm.
or even those who don't want to admit it.
It's usually that one.
It's
that
usually
one.
the other.
Usually that one, yeah.
Yeah. But I think it was such a good experience for me. I always wanted to leave. When I was like this big, I was always saying,
Not too
literally
much
like
higher
as
than
big as this table.
Wow, table size.
As soon as I could like really grasp like certain concepts of like there's more than like just this little town. I always was talking about coming out here. I mean, my dad is a huge influence of that.
Yeah.
So he really like was he wanted to live here actually when he was my
Wow.
age. Then he met my mom, and then they
Guess
fell
I'm
in
there.
love, and then things happen, and now I'm here.
Here.
I'm here. But
For
I
all our
would
younger viewers,
say,
now you know how we got here.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
But no, yeah, that's. I mean, so and then as far as like as far as music culture out there, what is it like out there? Or is it just like not gonna say non-existent, but like is it just a
There's
lot of
no real, yeah, it's a lot of influences, and it really, really depends on, I would say it depends on your immediate surroundings and like
yeah,
that. Because, growing up listening to music, like both of my parents were very open minded. So it was never like we only had one genre of music playing. But I will say that what really opened my eyes to music and just the layers and the history was as soon as I started taking guitar lessons at this like music studio in our hometown. The owners actually, we were really close with them. So over the years, as I continued going there, I actually started teaching guitar when I
oh
was
wow,
like 13. It was like my first job,
there you go.
and yeah, like it was. We were just really close, and they were such a the owners, Chris and Lisa, they were married. They knew so much about music. I mean, like they were the ones who I would say taught me a lot about music history, and like that's where I kind of opened my eyes to like more like R&B and more jazz and just like Motown even,
Yeah.
and like that, especially with like rock and like I don't know, I was actually in a band through that little
Oh
like
really?
organization.
Well,
Yeah.
what did you play in the band?
I was the singer. I was the lead
Oh okay,
singer.
okay.
I didn't play instruments in that, but it's crazy. We were a bunch of talented like little ass kids. I mean, like
Oh, bro.
honestly, we really were. We had some talented kids. Like we were like 13,
Yeah.
and there's this kid was shredding on the guitar. I believe his name's Jacob. If
Shout
you're
out
listening,
Jacob.
Jacob, wherever
Wherever
you
you're
are
at.
now, like wherever you are, you killed it.
You did great.
You did so good.
That little ass kid band, you went stupid.
We did Guns N' Roses, like, no,
Oh my
seriously. Like,
god.
I'm not kidding. Like, and that's the thing is, like, I was out here, like, ma, like, doing, like,
Yeah.
on my knees. And there's a video that it doesn't exist anymore. But
Ah,
it was
damn
on
it.
the internet for a while. It was actually circulating quite a bit. We did Sweet Child of Mine, and it was a cover, and it was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio.
What the fuck?
So random, right? Like
Yeah.
it's so random, but yeah. So my dad, he was filming the video, and in the crowd, you just hear these like it was pretty packed out. I mean,
we
that
can only
place is a
imagine. Yeah,
big,
that's a
yeah,
big
and
place.
for us that was pretty big, and so
Anybody.
yeah, and so here like all it starts off with just the intro, the guitar. I mean, this kid's like already like killing it, and you just hear in the background these two like dudes. They're like, "Holy shit," or like something like that. They were like, "No way, like no way, these kids are doing that."
Yeah, exactly.
And that was my like experience. I mean, that's kind of like what inspired me to really like pursue music.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I've
feel like
always like ever since I could hum,
Yeah.
or like I've always gravitated even my little like rickety toys that
Rickety. It's crazy.
literally like
Yeah.
just like the tiny little, I would be like twinkle to like figuring out melodies. Like my parents knew. They're like, okay, like she's into
onto
music.
something, yeah.
But it wasn't really until those experiences that I was like, okay, like this is really my passion.
Yeah.
This is something that like this is like my thing.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
I'm
good-
good at other things,
Yeah,
but
But this right here,
everybody knows that that's like
everybody has their one thing though. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you
what I
know?
mean? No, I mean it's. I feel like that moment would make anybody like.
yeah.
Even if you know what I'm saying, you felt the dream was so far off. I feel like that you're hilarious. It's like, I feel like that moment right there would be like, oh yeah, like I have to
Yeah,
at least give it a shot. You know what I'm saying?
this, or just like follow and pursue. There was actually a lot of other performances and experiences that I guess were like impactful to me. That was just one of them.
Yeah.
Another one that was pretty cool was it was like the Detroit Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Where like the city, there's like Fox News, and then they do the whole like, oh, 3, 2, 1, whatever. And then it was me like playing Have Yourself a Merry Little
Oh,
Christmas
shit.
and singing. And then there's like the ice skating rink beneath me.
Oh wow.
That was like one of the biggest things I've probably ever done. Like
That's
now that
surreal.
I'm thinking about it, just because of like how many people were watching,
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like nothing really phased me when I was younger.
Now it does.
Now it's a little different. I'm like, that makes me a little uncomfy, but
Yeah,
okay. Like,
you
I
try
don't
it out.
know. Yeah, my parents always tell me like there was no stopping you. Like when you were younger, like you just were like, sure, I'll do it.
Great attitude.
You know, like sure, you want to do this? You want to perform here? I was like, sure. Like why not? And
Yeah.
so that was kind of like the stuff that I was doing out there. It would range for sure.
I mean, it sounds like it. But
Yeah, it was like sometimes really like art festivals going on in our like a lot of community stuff.
sounds like it.
Yeah.
Which is I feel like it's always nice though. You know
It's
what I'm saying?
cool.
It really gives you I feel like it gives you a real actual base
Yes.
of like, you know what I'm saying, like
That's
that.
my home base.
Yeah, like
my
your home
foundation.
Your foundation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people, especially like if you grew up out here, it's like, you know what I'm saying? There's only so many
No,
ways,
yeah.
you know what I mean, that you can make this happen, and it's like, and it also lets you maybe not again not much out here, but like I feel like even if you fail once or twice, it's not the end of the world. You
Yeah.
start at the bottom again. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're in the same position, and it's like you can just
That's
retry
true.
that. You know what I mean? Like there's more caution for error. I mean,
Yeah.
more caution, more like
Room.
more room
More
for error.
room.
Yeah, for it to be more of a teaching stone than a end it all be all. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Situation.
No, that's
You know what I
very
mean?
true.
But I feel like that also eases things in. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I mean, but what did you move to Chicago for? I kind of want to.
So I moved there. I actually went to school out there.
Oh, you
I
went to
did
college?
go to school. I did go to school. I did graduate,
Whoa!
actually.
I wish I had a
I just
fucking
say
button.
that. I know. It's just like, I don't know, I'm not even going to go down that whole like
No,
loop
just yeah,
rabbit
you're good.
hole of
You're good.
like education. But I would say the thing that I took away from it the most was the people I met. Which one of them was Miles, which
Oh, you met Miles. Shout
yeah,
out
so
Miles,
like
guys.
shout out Miles. No, we went to the same school. It was actually Columbia. It's an art school.
To Columbia?
Not the one in New York.
Oh.
Okay, I have to like preface that because I
It's still
feel
Columbia.
like
It's still Columbia.
right. I think it's a little different, but it's a it's a good art school. It's really good, and honestly, it was really cool. I think I just really wanted to like at the time I wanted to come right out here and just not go to school at all. And then,
passive.
where I'm from, it's very like I wouldn't say frowned upon, but like it's
Really?
definitely like it's the more traditional route is like you go to school. And so like I kind of just did it because like everyone else was doing it, which
I did
sounds
the same thing.
really bad. I'm very fortunate and blessed that I was able to, I have a lot of student debt, but I was able to go. And that's something that I'm very like fortunate for.
Was it like a scholarship? You didn't go to
I
scholarship?
did get scholarships.
Oh, but
It
you
still
got
was a
of
lot.
student debt. Oh my god.
I wouldn't say okay. I know that people have less than me, people have more than me, but like student debt is student debt. It's definitely
Okay, student debt
something
is
nobody
student debt.
wants
And if you
to
die,
deal
keep
with.
going.
But I will say, like, I did get scholarships. I did have some help from my parents, which
Yeah.
is what I'm very thankful for. But
Shout out
yeah,
to
it's
parents.
really weird. Yeah, shout out them.
Shout out to guys.
No, I would not be here without them for real.
Technically and physically, and
Yes,
all that.
in every way.
In every way, shape, form, or fashion.
Literally in every way.
In every way.
But no, it was such a good experience. Like I met such cool people out there, and some of them are like my best friends still to this day.
Miles.
And so shout out that Miles, yes. I was also thinking like some of the people that still live out
All
there.
those people still out there.
But we did move out actually together. So we
Wow.
moved with like a little collective of people
Amazing.
from Chicago. We all were artists of some kind.
Shape, form, and fashion.
And yeah, I lived in a house with like 5 other dudes.
Oh,
And
crazy
it was
time to be
a
alive.
really crazy time to be alive. It was such a crazy experience. I
Huh.
will say it was kind of like living in a frat house.
It's kind of like a frat house or like a content house, like one of those.
Yeah, but also like, and I did live there for a couple months, then ended up moving in with my best friend,
Ah.
Liv, and we lived together up until now.
Up until now.
Yeah, literally. As of like 4 months ago.
Yeah, so you just moved, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, so yeah, because now I have different roommates. I live with Drew and Kishore. Shout out Kishore. Shout out Drew.
The guy.
But literally, like, Miles is how I met them.
Yeah.
So it's really wild. Like, if I didn't go to Columbia,
Mhm.
I wouldn't know them. And that's just like they've been a huge part of my journey out here, especially like with the music scene.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to see that unfold and just like, wow, if I didn't do this, like,
Mhm.
I wouldn't be here right now with you.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, super. No, literally, because I mean, hey, shit.
So,
I mean, because like I said, we all know we have Keyshore's a veteran on this fucking podcast.
he's a veteran.
He's a veteran. That's my fucking brother, man. And I gotta get Miles on here at some point. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I'm missing Miles too. He's
Yes.
the last one. And then I gotta
Yeah.
get Drew. So I gotta get
Oh,
everybody.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have to go through the whole. Okay, well then I got work to do stuff.
Yeah.
I got work to do. I got a lot of work to do.
There's always work to do. Like,
There's never
that's
not.
in this business.
Honestly,
Let's
but
be real.
but I do want to touch on and kind of go back to the whole like moving to Chicago because
Yeah.
of the school thing. I feel like that's a lot how a lot of people, especially that are on the fence or that are very like coming from a small town as well. So I mean, a lot of people do the whole, well, if I just go to school out of state, then I don't have to be here. You know what I'm saying? Type of shit too. So I feel like it's always like a double edged sword.
Yeah.
But usually when they leave, they just stay gone. They just don't come back. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those things. So I feel like it's a gift and a curse. Because yeah, sure, the
Totally.
student debt, and also having to go to school and things like that is kind of like a trade off. But it's like you get to see the city, you get to see,
So, a lot of things.
well, you're in Chicago. I can only imagine what you can see in Chicago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so from there, you get out here. When is the real recording stuff happen? When does it start to be like,
Okay.
okay, I'm about to be Bree Miller for real?
Yeah, no, it's a pivotal moment. It's important to discuss because, especially like since I was doing this, making music and being pop for so long, you go through phases for sure. And like, I think for me, I always talk about this with my parents because they're like, you had like, you were doing so much back in like our small town. And then it was like, you moved to Chicago. And then it was kind of like, whoa, pump the brakes. What was your like thought process? And for me, it was just like, well, like I was thrown into the music scene at a very young age or whatever that scene was and where I was at.
Young age.
There was
yeah.
a lot. Yeah, there was a lot to unpack there because on one hand, I loved it and I was always down to perform. On the other hand, it was like it became a job. And there was a point where my parents had contracts that were like presented to them. And at this point, I think I was like 13, like
You're still a
12.
kid, okay.
12. I was a little bit younger actually than that. It's all like a blur now. But I do remember them sitting me down and being like, one of them in particular, I would have to move. Or I think both of them, I did have to move. One of them was like Tennessee, Nashville based.
They're about to turn you into a country
Other
singer.
one, literally. Then the other one was like, oh, LA or New York. But it was like, oh, and I wish that I was the age I'm now to like read it through and be like, what was it? But like,
What was the brand?
my parents didn't know. They were just like, oh God. And like, they had to hire literally a lawyer to like read it through. Cause like, and the way they broke it down to me was like, look, like if you do this, you're not gonna be able to go to school anymore. Like, you're gonna be homeschooled. You're not gonna be able to just like go to your friends' birthday parties. Like things that at the time I was like, I wanna do that.
I want to do that.
Yeah, and like it just something about it just didn't seem right. And I think now looking back, I had some sort of like intuition because since I always wrote all my songs myself and I like was the one start to finish creative process, I saw like even just with them being like explaining to me that they would be in charge of my sound, my look, everything. I didn't like that. And now I'm like, oh my God, thank God, because
Yeah,
you see how some of these people turn out, and it's so sad because they didn't even really know. When you're that young, you don't know.
No.
So I think like now, looking back, I'm thankful, but so going from that to then almost being like, I just want to be me. Like, I don't want to like do this for anyone else. And like, I just wanted to be normal, honestly.
Be you, yeah.
And like growing up, since it was such a small town, it felt like all eyes on me in terms of like the music stuff, because everybody knew like that's what I was known for.
Yeah.
And so it's like in Chicago where nobody knows me, not a single person knows me. It was literally night and day.
Yeah, literally.
So like from that point, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do me, and I really did just like live it up, like I just did my thing, I had fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And I still was making music always. I just wasn't putting it out and like pushing it. And, I was still finding myself. I still am. We all are.
Yeah,
But
we
I
never
will
stop.
say, but there was like a pivotal moment. And it was actually one of the first people out here to like actually really get to me and just be like, what are you like doing this for and stuff was actually Drew. So like we
Drew.
had
Drew.
yeah, no, like
Surprised he
for
didn't
real
come.
though, he was, unfortunately we had such a busy day, but
You're a slut, Drew.
he no, but for real, he was like kind of an outsider at the time when I first like moved. We only Miles was like our connection or whatever, but he was like, "You're really good," and like, you know, like, what are you not like? What are you doing? Not doing anything? Like you could be pushing your stuff. You don't have anything out there, like nothing on your social media that shows that you even make music. Like I didn't know you made music when I met you until Miles actually was like, listen to this song. And I started working with Miles like at the very end of my experience in Chicago and then in the very beginning of LA.
Yeah.
And I did a couple songs with him, and then do you know Jimmy Jupiter? He's a part of Dead Boys. So like Key and Drew's music group,
yeah.
he was a part of that too, and you know he was my first artist that I even like recorded with out here. So it was like Miles and him, and like those were the songs that Drew heard, and he was like, wait, like what? And so then he was just like, dude, like if you want to do music, like if you want that, you can do it. But like it's up to you. Like you have to be the one to be putting yourself in the right places. You gotta really like just take it serious.
You're gonna do it.
And like also I'm one of those people who I never took social media. I still to this day can very much say that like I don't, it's something I'm working on.
Yeah.
But like really when I tell you that if you were to have gone to my I'd have like 5 posts and it would be like so spread apart and it would be like, okay, you would never know. It's for real. And then also when I'd introduce myself, I never was like, I'm an artist. I was like, I'm Bree.
But I will say, not to cut you off, but
No,
I feel
yeah.
like but I feel like
Please.
please no, you're doing great, but I really appreciate it. I'm this is what this was for, you know.
Yeah.
I want people to to hear your story. I mean, because I did my research. I know I got you. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. You know what I mean? So this is nothing that I haven't heard yet. You know what I'm saying? But I want to say, as far as like the whole introducing yourself as an artist is always like it's a two-way street.
Two-way street.
Because I feel like at least out here, everybody is a fucking
So saturated.
oh, it's so saturated. Everybody's an artist. You say 60 people, I do this. We couldn't just be friends first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or something.
I never are off rip and like, hey, I'm Brie, I make music. Like, no, because I value genuine connections, and like I think that's also why for the longest time I just didn't. I wanted to be their friend. I want to be your friend first. And true, like going back to my childhood, like, everybody knew me as that. Even when if I didn't know somebody, they knew that I did it. So it was like, do you really want to be my friend, or are you just like not really? Or sometimes they'd have a false perception of me.
Yeah.
And I did not like that. I remember specifically this one moment, my video productions teacher, Mr. Ashley, he literally was like, dude, when I first heard about you, and I was like, first heard about you, so weird.
So crazy.
Yeah, and he was like, because it was one of those like electives you had to be like let into the class by the teacher, whatever. He was like, I had this group of girls, they were like maybe a couple grades below me or something, and they said something like, oh yeah, like she like makes music, like she thinks she's all that or something like that.
Some girl hate
and it
shit.
stuck to me because he told me, he was like, but he was telling me in terms of like, you're nothing like that. Like I like now that I know you, like I wouldn't like, I don't know why they said that. And I was like, well, this is why I don't do that. Like, because the world is a cruel place, but then like you said, it's balance, because then I retracted the complete opposite way. And it's like, you can't do that.
Exactly.
So, it's really about finding that balance. Like, I'm still always going to be, I think, someone who's a little bit more reserved when it comes to the whole music thing. But, like, we'll see. Like, I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, so no, I mean, I feel you. And I think even when I met you, I didn't know you made music till I think like 2 days or 2 weeks after meeting you.
Whenever like the second time we met.
Yeah, I was like,
we actually were like talking, and like then it was like, oh, like, because I think you asked maybe. I don't know.
I might have asked because I was like,
I don't remember.
because I was like, when you're in this house with all these people that make music, there's no way you're just, the girlfriend. I'm like,
Right.
there's no fucking way. You're not gonna like, there's no way. You don't seem annoyed enough. This can't be. So I'm like,
Whoa, that's crazy.
You-
that's funny.
you live a lot
Oh,
of
I know, I know.
Yeah, so it's like,
I've
so
seen it.
there's no way. I said, let me just ask. I said, you know what I mean? But and I said, I remember going back to the car and listening to this. Oh my god, this is fucking. I would have never guessed. I don't think I would ever guess. And also too, because you don't sound like you sing.
Oh, okay.
I can hear it now. I can hear
After
it now.
hearing
Yeah,
it,
but like
yeah.
even hearing it, then I was like, is this the right person?
Kinda. No, yeah.
This is her on the cover. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, this is. I mean, and I think too, it's not. It doesn't really fit like your whole like regular genre. I feel like it's not like your pop or like your Taylor Swift type shit. You know what I mean? It's so I feel like it's very much you, and I can't really put that in a box.
Oh, sweet.
Because even like what you're saying, I mean, yeah, sure, it's a light toned and real instruments and so on and so forth, which is always nice to hear as well. But it's like after hearing it live and also hearing it through records, through your records and stuff like that, like it does kind of convey like a cozy, warm, let me tell you a story feeling. You know what I'm saying? And
Sick.
you know what I mean, like sick. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah.
No, I really appreciate the feedback, Owen.
Yeah, like I mean, like so I want to talk about this new album. Because it delayed it delayed this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But for good reason. Also, too, guys, anything that's music, all that stuff, description, please go check it out. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
It's great album. So kind of tell us what your mindset was on it, and like the lead single being burnt. Was it burn or burnt?
Burnt out.
Yeah, burnt out.
I think, yeah.
Which is amazing. What was the like kind of the overall thing of it? Because I remember you telling me you were just so knees deep in it. I'm like, I want to know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
So, yeah.
that one's like an interesting song to talk about in particular. So I was kind of going through a little bit of a writer's block for like a couple months. Pretty much when we met, I was like kind of in that like, I was writing stuff, nothing really stuck, and then I made that song, and it was like, okay, like I really, really like have a vision for it, and also too, some songs like my writing process is so all over the place. Like to be honest,
We gotta talk about that.
yeah, we can talk about that too. So like basically my writing process in general, a lot of the times it's melody based first and then lyrics just kind of come to me. And then next thing you know, like it's kind of like the energy behind what I'm like singing or hearing or feeling. Also like if I'm writing to my instruments, it's a lot different. But if I hear a beat and I'm like, oh, like I'm getting something from this beat, like what is it? It's usually melodies, and then like the words kind of follow, and it's like, what does this story like? What does it try? What does this song try? What do I want to talk about? And like that, and the specifics of what I'm saying can really vary, obviously. But like I do draw from a lot of personal experiences and emotions, but also others around me.
Yeah.
So like, for example, Burnt Out, I was not going through a breakup at that point, but I have gone through one before. And also my very dear friend was going through one as well. And she, like, it's just weird how sometimes even just being there for somebody and like kind of just like emotional support for someone else can bring back certain emotions from your past. So like I love, like when especially when I'm close to you. I mean, I could talk to strangers too, honestly.
Yeah.
But like if you're close to me, like I love, just like sometimes hearing them talk about what they're going through and me just like listening, and like it's so good as an artist to like get that and to use it as like ammunition. Literally for like the songs and stuff. And so that was how that came to be. Then I was like, wait, like I got to do a music video to this song. I want it to be like a live performance thing with like me and a band, which the video is actually out on YouTube.
It is out.
It is, yes, directed by Kayla.
What to say? That's Jack's girlfriend.
Yes.
Shout out Jack Rounder. Shout out his girlfriend. Oh man, such a power duo.
Such a power duo.
Such a fucking power.
Yeah, she's like my go-to director for like a lot of the video stuff.
I've seen the cover. It's very good.
Yeah, she's new to it, and so it's like this is like it's good for both of us because her being new to it, me kind of being new to like putting it out
Yeah,
and
putting
like
it
pushing
together.
and having like visuals to things, because I am near the music video scene, I'll tell you
It's
that.
fine, you know.
Yeah, because I'm not one to like put the camera in front of my face myself, to be honest. But it's been such a cool experience and like seeing a vision being brought to life. And so for that one, you know, we didn't really have the one thing, this was kind of a crazy concept. I really wanted someone to be like on fire for the video. So this is kind of funny. And at the time, my friend Lyric,
Say,
actually, who you
not
went to her
Lyric.
house, that's
Oh,
where I
so
had the show.
a crib?
It's her house, yes. So,
Crazy.
yeah.
I know that.
So
Oh, that was her
basically,
dad. I was speaking of her dad then. The white dude is her dad? I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna cut
no,
this out.
no. Wait, that was probably my dad.
Oh,
My
me,
stepdad
me,
or
yeah,
dad.
yeah,
I had
me.
my stepdad and my dad were there.
Yeah,
So
me-
you probably talked to one of them.
Yeah, I had a jersey on. We was talking about football. Great guy. Shout out to your stepdad. He's
But
a great dude.
but her, yeah, so it's her mom's house,
Oh,
and
fire.
her mom and her grandma. Her grandma is actually the first lady of Motown.
What the fuck?
Dude, seriously. Yeah. So Smokey Robinson
Yeah.
is her grandpa. But yeah, that's a
Total
whole
sense now.
other.
That
No,
makes-
I know.
makes
Yeah.
so much
Well,
sense
cause her. Have you been into the back, like her room in the studio? The studio. There's a studio back there. Yeah, cause it was an outdoor. We didn't want to like have everyone
I
inside.
can only imagine. I
But
wouldn't wanna be inside either.
yeah, it's cool. You know what? And her grandma was talking to me right before the show, and she was like giving me just a little pep talk,
Yeah.
right? And this woman has seen it all, like
Literally.
seen it all. She was literally the first woman to be a part of Motown,
Yeah, literally.
the miracles, and it's huge. And so like she's seen a lot, and so she
Oh, shit,
was
she's part of the
involved.
Miracles? Oh no, you are right. You said her first lady is the Miracles.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And so she's seen a lot. And so I'm like sitting in the kitchen drinking some tea. This is like
Surreal.
yeah.
Uh,
But like everyone's outside, you know, vibing and whatnot, and she's just like giving me some of the best, like, just
Pep talk
like
ever had.
yeah, just like motivational, but also wise. Like she's so wise, and to hear her talk, I'm just like I could literally sit here all night, you know, just like talking to you,
man, that's crazy.
and yeah, so it was really cool. But that's like the history of like her family being involved in the music scene. That's why they were also so supportive to like
Yeah.
let me do it. And they were like, it's cool you're from Detroit. Because like she just flew to Detroit for like a Motown event.
That's crazy.
So like it kind of all weirdly ties in. But so back to what we were saying before that.
Before
about
that,
the music video.
before that, I'm gonna
So
cut
Lyric, yeah.
Before I'm gonna cut this out, damn,
Mm-hmm.
she survived all of them. Half of the niggas are dead.
Oh, I know.
She has been what, like 80 something?
She is, yeah.
She's like 80 something, right? Okay. Okay, back. You were saying. So, I was having to really think that through. I said, God damn.
No, it's crazy. Like you could go down a rabbit hole of just that, like
Yeah.
just her family and that history and like all of that. It's
You might
so
have to.
sick.
I'm about to.
No, you.
have to figure that
It's
out.
all on it's all on Google.
Yeah, I have to
Her
figure that out.
mom and yeah, it's cool.
Wow. But yeah, seriously.
So Lyric knew she had a friend that lights himself on fire. Like I swear to God,
Friend to have.
I.
That's a crazy friend to
There's
have.
a lot of crazy friends. No,
Yeah.
but like it was just so funny, like that timing. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm like, I have been hanging out with this guy, and he's a skater, and he like lights stuff on fire." And I was like, "Dude, let's
Please.
do it! Like, I'm down." And like they weren't super close, but like I remember it was like friends of friends or something like that. Long story short, he said he was down, but then like the day of the music video comes up and he can't make it. And so, but we had to shoot that day.
Yeah, you had
so
to, yeah.
there was a lot of other people involved with the performers in the background
Yeah.
of the band. I had to really rally up my like people
Yeah, figure
and
it out.
find people, and which they all came through. So blessed that they did that and went out of their way. So I was like, you know what? It's not like the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's fine. You know, like we
Next
can. Yeah, exactly.
Keep the dream alive.
Right.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so, you know, and that, so then at that point though, we were like, okay, so all we have is just like this live performance. How do we make it like still engaging and whatnot? And it was cool to see her really take control of that project because she edited it all herself. Like
wow.
yeah, I think that was the first one that she really did, or maybe it was the second. I'm not sure, but she did all of the editing herself. And prior to that, Jack was helping her, like, you know, learn how to edit and certain things that, like, Jack knows, but like she really did that.
Mhm.
And I was like, wow, like I didn't give you much to work with, you know? Like we're just singing the song on stage, but like it turned out really cool. We actually had lyric like in the audience too.
That's fire.
And like, it was kind of like I don't know, it was really cool. It's a cool
It was a
cool
great
vibe.
music video.
Yeah, so like that's how that song happened. And then from there, like it was seriously, I have people to fact check this.
Oh yeah, the
but
vouch for you.
it was really crazy. It was like after that, I was on a roll, and
Yeah.
like that's usually how it goes for me. And
Mhm.
it's like once I get it, I keep going. And
Wow.
it was like I have the album, and it was like I think a week and a half, and I like got the other 5 songs. One of them I actually did already record like
Mm.
2 months before that. So I had that
Yeah.
one, but then it was like, oh wait, this kind of could fit, and like
Yeah.
that
build it
collection.
out.
It's just a collection of like that like month really of like whatever I was on that month, and
Whatever I was on that month. It's crazy.
I mean, for real, that's how I see it now because it's like when I'm making a project too, I really think of it as just like a certain period of time.
It's like
And
a
then-
chapter.
Yeah, and so it's like I don't know, that was kind of it was really fast, but then
Mhm.
from there that's why it was like okay, now like the 1 week turns to 2 to 3 to 4 of
Mhm.
like what are we going to do? Like what's the concepts for the
What's the
videos?
rollout?
What are the singles? What's the rollout? Like we going to do a show? And then when the show came to be, it was really what
It's perfect.
was on the biggest thing because it wasn't just a regular like venue, you
Yeah.
know. It was a project.
That was a
It was
project.
a
No,
project.
It was a project, but
A lot of heart and soul and sweat and tears, and it was like the coolest experience because
yeah.
I learned a lot. First show and out here and like really DIY. I mean, it was like
It's the
her
way to go, though.
backyard. It was literally in her backyard, and we had like I really had a vision for like I just wanted to be super like cute and like girly and
sweet.
like very and like I just like certain little things like the bubbles and the flower decorate like all of that girly stuff. I was
Yeah.
like I really just want to do it and like the lights and all of that and just make it really cozy. And like I
Yeah.
really was like I wanted to be intimate, friends and family, which literally my family
Whole
flew
gang,
out,
whole
whole
gang,
gang
Whole gang.
pulled through. It
All
was
the
kind
way.
of cool, like killing 2 birds with one stone, because it was like due time for them to visit me anyways.
Yeah, facts.
So it was like, let's make a trip out of it. And my family's so supportive that
They really were.
yes, and I'm so blessed. So like having them there too, like help. I mean, my mom came before everyone else to like help me, and she saw like what I was going through of like the sound was the biggest part because
It always
when you
is.
don't have
Good
like
sound. It's
engineers, like oh my god, I just give so much credit to them, especially after this because it's a lot, dude. Like that shit is hard. It's just like
Oh,
so
bro.
much goes into it. The acoustics of the room. I remember even at Columbia when they would
Yeah.
talk about it, it was like you have to go through math and like all these other courses to do it because it really is so much. It's like science and math and all of this and that. And we
Yeah.
didn't know. We were just
Yeah.
like, let's just buy these amps and plug it in
Figure it
and
out.
figure it out. Which
Facing towards each other.
literally, and so we had, I'm also blessed to have my friends who played instruments
Yeah.
come through. Drew, we did it all through his laptop, which
Oh wow.
also shout out him for that because my laptop is on its last legs, and there ain't no way I could have done that.
Not gonna happen.
And I used my Apollo Twin for any like music makers out there. It's definitely like one of the higher end interfaces that can handle
UAD.
a lot of power.
Yeah.
So that was really how we were able to like have the backtrack playing and have the instruments. Then I had to buy an in-ear system for the drummer and me to be able to hear it and be on time. And it was like, wow, like that part was tricky, but
Nah, it makes you really think, like
so much goes into shows.
oh yeah,
It's
it's a full body of work. People
So crazy.
people just think you need a venue. It's like no, you need everything else. You know
Yeah,
what
and
I'm
also
saying?
when people show up to a venue, it's like you got to give that venue credit for having to already have figured all that stuff out. Like that stuff that I was dealing with would already have been figured out for the most part. I mean, you always run into sound troubles in any situation, but like that was seriously like crazy. And we was just like by the pool, we had like the, to get the right PA system even to handle it.
Handle it.
what we were doing, which was
Yeah.
a whole other story. And so like Drew's over here like twisting knobs, and like we had a mixer, and we'd never used a mixer before. Like, you know what I mean? You're like looking down, but
You
it's
dig, but no, it's not easy at all.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And so, and shout out Bobby Gars.
Facts.
That man really came
Facts.
through so many multiple times actually. He was actually in Burnt Out music video playing the drums. Then he comes through and basically helped engineer the set because he does know more than us. But I mean, Drew really, him and Drew just like handled that
You
shit.
figured it out. They
We
did what they
figured
needed
it
to do.
out, and
That's all you gotta
so-
do, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
It all comes together in the end and like works out how it's supposed to and all that. But
And
yeah,
I feel like those shows are way better than like a venue show or something like
Dude,
that. Like,
it
yeah,
was-
sure, everybody wants those, but like more intimate outdoors. Everyone's hanging out. Kind of
it's just kind of different. And like, I don't know, I go to a lot of shows out here in our little like artist community.
LOL.
And
Yeah.
no, yeah, you know what I
Artist
mean.
community is great. I'm saying that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, artist
community, yeah.
literally. No, but for real, and it's like I see a lot. I've learned a lot, but like and that. So for me, I wanted to do something a little different, and I was like, I think since I'm newer to the like to that
Area.
side of things, or out here at least, I'm new to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to do something cool and to me something special. Like so,
Yeah.
everyone that was there, like, they really can say they went to something that like nobody else, because I don't know if I'll be able to do that, or if I do.
So we doing it again or what?
I mean, yes, it's
Yeah.
definitely like something we're gonna recreate. Just like
Yeah.
the matter of when
Next
exactly.
album.
That might be coming sooner than we think.
But oh no, since we're talking about what's next, we're gonna wrap it up. But what is next for Brie Miller? What should we be looking for?
So, oh gosh. It's crazy because I feel like I just get pulled in so many different directions. But like lately, I've been really on like a kind of like dream pop, like indie rock pop kick with
Kick.
like a little, yeah, like I don't know, because like you said, it's kind of hard to put me in a specific lane.
Facts.
So like those are just some of the things that I would describe, like the instrumentation, and like that's kind of some of the inspiration that I've noticed lately.
Yeah.
But like I've also done R&B in the past, and so it's like this is just kind of a moment in time, like we said, and then
Wow.
yeah,
Plug.
yeah. So yeah, that's kind of like I've been really into like Four on the Floor, like kind of like
Yeah.
the more like dancey but still chill and like vibey,
Yeah.
you know? Like I always feel like Fleetwood Mac is like,
Man.
and I just feel like, you know, she has been kind of like just a predominant influence to me. Stevie Nicks, I don't know. I feel like
Just
I
Stevie
feel
Nicks.
her. I feel her. Like
No facts.
I like her energy, and so I find myself always kind of like that comes through a little bit.
I love
know.
it.
I have a lot of different artists
Artists in mind,
influences,
yeah.
but like yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of the vibes I'm on right now.
You said you had a name.
A name? Oh no, I don't have a name for the album yet.
Damn, guys,
so
I tried it,
sorry.
guys. I tried for us.
You really
That's
tried to
fine.
get that out of me. I see you.
Everybody
that
gets
was
to say,
sneaky.
I'm trying to be like fun. You
That
got a
was-
name?
that
You got a
was
name? You got
sneaky.
That's the whole point, guys. You know what I'm saying?
No, that was sneaky. No.
Make you forget to give
I
us a mic.
genuinely would tell you if I did. It's still in like a new
Works.
Yeah, I'm in my like recording phase right now.
Yeah,
I'm
but-
working, so it'll all come together.
I'm sure it will, and we're more than excited to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And see the
I'm
rollout
so
of it.
excited.
It seems like with every project you do, you grow, and it's going in the right
Oh,
direction.
Thank you.
You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you so much.
Definitely, you got a fan on this side. You know what I'm saying? I will say I would love to hear an indie project.
Yeah.
I love indie music a lot, like more than I should. You know what I'm saying? Like
more than I should is crazy.
more than I should. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I think I had said this in a previous one, but I'll say it again. But I might have cut it out. But I used to date this girl that was like really into like indie music, but she's like, oh, it was so. She said she couldn't listen to it because it was so close to her soul. And I was like, damn, you must be a horrible bitch. And I was like, damn, like you know what? I probably should have told me not to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
that should have been a little red
oh yeah, that should have been a little But I was like, damn, she's right. That shit is so fire though. Like you could have really anyway. But I can go on forever.
Yeah, no, I hear you though.
But it's about that time But is there any last words before we get out of here?
Any last words? I think if there's one thing that I'd like to share, is just with this music game. I really feel like authenticity is so 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 important, and you can definitely, you hear the saying everything's a remix, and it's true. But at the end of the day, you can't overthink it. You can't, and that's something that I feel like I'm finally just at a really like open and free space. Where I'm just like I'm doing me, and I think everybody should really try to just be as authentic as you can. Because there's a lot going on these days with music. It is very saturated, and it's very everyone does it, and then with social media and all of that.
Yeah, facts.
So, you really just have to keep your head down and just really do you.
Not wrong. And I think authenticity is great. And I feel like that's probably if you had to have one single word to describe your music, I think that would be it.
Oh,
Like I said, because I don't really. Again, you hear a girl singing, people are gonna automatically put that in a box for it. But if you
Yeah,
actually
of
listen
course.
sonically to what's going on, it's like no, you don't hear this a lot, guys. You know, what I'm
Ugh.
saying? You gotta give it what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
And you write your own music too, so there's always that. I mean,
Yeah.
but guys, this has been a
Been
moment,
great.
right? A great time. God damn it.
It went so fast, I feel. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
you
been an
blinked
hour.
and it's over.
Bro, hey, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's time flies when you're
Good
having fun.
conversations.
Exactly,
Yeah.
guys. It's been Life and Times with the fabulous Bree Miller.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank
remember,
you for having me
thank you for
so
coming
much.
on
Thank
here.
you so much.
And remember, all her stuff in the description, playlist, official playlist. She's on it. New album's on it in the description. Don't forget to fucking subscribe. I need
Subscribe.
1,000 subscribers. Come on.
Okay, let's get there.
Bow.